Just to start off, I guess I'll ask, what character do you main?
I play
You play who?
Olim.
Olimar? Okay, cool. That makes it nice and simple for me. Do you want me to start out playing Olimar myself, or do you want me to maybe start a different character and kind of see where you're at? Because I know a lot of the Olimar players out there don't tend to like the Olimar Ditto, but I always like to ask.
Olim.
You want to do Olimar Ditto? That's fine. So we can get it. Oh, I actually gotta do something real quick. So generally, what would you say you're looking to like improve on, or do you feel like there's a weaker area in your gameplay that you feel is hindering you a lot, and that's why you did this, or did you have something in mind?
Definitely.
You might need to speak a little louder. You kind of keep cutting out there.
Oh, definitely my disadvantage state. Because when I'm in disadvantage, I play horrible.
Okay.
So, also, when I'm up close, like I'm getting hit up close, I kind of blank and start to forget what to do.
Okay.
I don't really have a solution.
Yeah, I mean, Olimar's one of those characters where a lot of the times, it just seems like either use your smash attack or side B, but his boxing options with like down tilt and jab can actually do a lot to help alleviate some of that up close pressure. And it's
Alright.
something that you're going to want to work on incorporating, and hopefully I can show you in some of these games or point out scenarios where it can work. The disadvantage side of things, I mean, disadvantage is typically Olimar's worst area. He really struggles in those
Mhm.
types of things. However, you have some tools that you can use to help alleviate that with your whistle, because that is the super armor. Air dodge can be really good, especially the neutral air dodge, because it has a lot less lag than a directional air dodge, and it kind of
Mhm.
lets you just keep falling normally. Then there's, you can use your up B like a third jump at times. So if someone's about to hit you, you could up B right before then. They whip their attack, then you hit them. And then you can also always just like fall down with your own attack or something like that. Or maybe drift to the ledge and try and play a different type of gameplay from there. But we'll get into some games and I'll see what it is. I'll probably play a couple different characters against you in this
Alright.
session just to gauge how you handle different things. So,
Yeah.
um, I definitely see what you were talking about when you said like when you're up close, you kind of like go blank,
Yeah.
and don't really know what to do. Um, so that's one of those things where you're gonna have to really like take control consciously of your actions and go, okay, I'm up close, and evaluate what happens. You can't kind of just panic, and I know that's kind of easier said than done, but it's something that takes a lot of effort on your part as the player to reel in those nerves, so to speak, and go, all right, well, he's up close. What can I do? Maybe I'll shield. Maybe I'll roll away. Maybe I can down tilt him. Maybe I can dash attack. Or maybe I can jab, right? Like, you have a lot of options. You can even use
Yeah.
those smash attacks up close. And you don't want to just, like, blindly press buttons, right? Like, there was a couple times where, like,
Yeah.
I'd be up
Yeah.
close and you just kept down tilting. But instead, kind of recognize why you're down tilting in the first place. Okay, like, you're down tilting. You do it. You go, okay, I want to hit him here. Oh, he went over there. That doesn't mean keep down tilting. That means, adjust to where he's gone and then prepare yourself for the next option.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll do another game. We'll see how it is. It's definitely going to be tough especially if you're not super experienced in the Olimar Ditto, like I am, and things like that. It can be a bit tough to deal with. But I think just like not letting me walk all over you as much is going to be really important.
Alright.
Definitely doing better this game, kind of at least trying to get away from you if you're up close, and I think that's good, so you're not always like just kind of freezing.
Yeah.
Something you gotta stop doing is, or you want to watch at least. I don't want to say don't do it because it's a perfectly fine option, but you're rolling from the ledge like every time,
Yeah.
and you're not finding too much deviation in your options, and that's part of that's part of what I was saying earlier. How it's like you kind of want to take control mentally of what you're doing, so you're always in control of your actions. You're not flinching, so to speak, and picking like a panic option, because if you know, like, okay, I'm at the ledge, you can go, all right, should I roll? Oh, well, I just rolled last time, right? Like, you're putting that thought into it, then that's
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
going to help you evaluate it a bit better. And then I think something you want to keep in mind as well is on the other end of the spectrum, when I'm coming at you or when you're picking an option and I'm ready to respond to it, you have to be aware of what I can do. Like, there was an instance where I was running at you and you like jump and side bead and I just forward smashed it and I killed you. And that's one of
Yeah.
those things where, that side bead could have been decent, but at the same time, one, it has to be a purple to have any knockback. Two, Olimar smashes just go through those, right? Like, so in this
Yeah.
ditto specifically, you're just not going to be able to catch it. Like, at best, we're going to trade if I get my attack out, so it's going to be rough. Remember to watch those rolls. That was definitely good that you didn't roll there. You just instinctively went for the panic option. I was kind of waiting for you to choose something because I knew you weren't going to be able to really punish me at that distance and things like that. And I'd assumed that you were going to go for something kind of like a roll or a spot dodge or something. That was a good mix-up. Definitely applying some of the things I was telling you there, especially on the ledge, and I really liked that. Just kind of, I'm ending up overwhelming you a lot of times off a single hit, and that's to be expected. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just the difference in the way we handle our advantage state's pretty important. But something you can try to extrapolate from that in the meantime is like you notice how when I hit you or I get a follow up, I usually, or even a disadvantage, I'll like try and keep the rhythm of my play going. Like I try not to stop and start and segment things a lot. And I find that if I can keep my play in a much more coherent, smooth gameplay style, it makes it a lot easier for me to make adjustments on the fly because I'm already in the rhythm of things. Whereas if I have to start and stop, not only does that make it a bit more jarring for me as the player, but also that my opponent has a bit more time to kind of figure out a plan to stop me or adjust if I'm doing these little breaks in my gameplay and starting and stopping. And I don't want to make it sound like that means you always have to be attacking per se, right? Olimar has, as a character, is someone who can do a lot of like in between stuff. Like you can adjust your Pikmin lineup while you're running against someone. You can throw a Pikmin, past them and maybe try and knock them into it. You can do things that are not directly using knockback based attacks to keep things going. But even in disadvantage, like I'll get hit and I'll throw a purple and then I'll up B right behind it and I'll try and keep my pressure going. Because if that purple hits, which I sometimes throw it in the way that I believe it will, then I can follow it up or things like that. And that's just trying to keep a very fluid element to my gameplay. I think that's really important to the character like Olimar, who's naturally so slow.
Alright.
I'll do like one or two more games with Olimar, and then I want to try and go a different character that might be able to kind of exploit some of the areas like disadvantage that you were saying talking about really badly, and see what we can find there. Definitely want to be wary of my spacing there. Like, had I ran in, yeah, that get up attack would have caught me, but I kind of only covered one option. And sometimes it's better just to do like a regular get up if I'm far away or something like that, or even just stay on ledge if I can't directly hit you, and then kind of let me commit first. Give me 1 sec.
Alright.
Give me 1 sec. I'm gonna turn down my fan real quick.
Alright.
Alright. There we go. Yeah, it's just when I'm hitting you, what is like when you're in that disadvantage spot or I'm pressing my advantage, what are the thoughts that are going through your head? Like what kind of influences you to pick the options you're picking?
I don't start to use forward smash. Like I feel like forward smash will get through it, but I also feel like I'm not sure about what's gonna happen or not. If that makes any sense.
I think I see what you're saying. Like you think it might win, but you're unsure, so you don't want to just do it.
Yeah.
Okay. That is something that's really important when you play Olimar, especially. Like, you have to be very confident in what you do, because if you're slow, or if you hesitate, or if you second-guess yourself, that gives your opponent time to just win. Now, the Olimar Ditto is a little different in that Olimar's attacks, like, Pikmin attacks kind of go through themselves a lot of the time. Like, if we both have Smash, it's just going to go through each other, assuming they're active at the same time, and we can hit each other. Now, in that same vein, you can also kill Pikmin with other moves, using if you hit them as they start up or if they do other things. So it's kind of like figuring out almost the rock, paper, scissors element of that there. Because then, normal attacks will also just beat Pikmin attacks because they'll clank, right? Like if I down tilt your F smash, I'm down tilting it, like I'm going to clank. So it creates a different dynamic. But the F smash can definitely, like, beat out what I'm going to do sometimes or even trade with it. And I think that's important to kind of find the rhythm of. But I think when you're playing in something like friendlies, especially where it's a lot less committal if you end up losing. It's not like a big tournament set or anything like that. You know, you kind of have the luxury of being able to be a little bit more risky with your play. You know, if you're not sure, go for it. Try it out. You don't have anything to lose.
Yeah.
Well, you were definitely doing better there, getting some hits. I liked how you were, you know, you kind of had a better gauge of when to use that get up attack when I was really close or when you thought you could catch me. So that shows that you're kind of adjusting to what I'm saying and trying to implement it some. But now I'm going to go different character. We're going to mix it up some, kind of keep you on your toes. What are some characters that you generally struggle with?
I do struggle with Mario quite
Okay.
a lot, so.
I can see why. He likes to mash on you, and it's very frustrating.
Yeah.
That and then the reflector's super annoying. Just as like a rule of thumb, the way I approach someone like Mario is that, one, I always recommend if you play Olimar, you want to try and parry as much as possible. I think it's very important for the character because your out of shield options just aren't super strong on average, right? Like they're not very quick. So having some additional leverage in how you can punish things makes a world of difference. Secondly, Mario is a character that this can kind of be used with any character of the reflector, but characters like Mario or Fox, which have really quick on-the-fly reflectors, you have to be a bit more careful with because if they reflect a smash, you can just die. So you want to adjust your game plan to be less smash-oriented and more aerial, tilts, jab, even grab in some cases, pivot grab at times, and kind of use those smash attacks more as a read, or when you think they won't be there, they won't be ready or something when you've caught them off guard. Because if you just smash all the time, they're going to get really cheeky with those side Bs, those reflectors, and then they're going to be punishing you a lot more, and then your neutral is going to consist of things that just aren't going to work. But those aerials, those tilts, those can beat the reflectors in addition to their own normal moves. If I fair and Mario fairs, I win. My move's transcendent. So you have some leeway there. You just want to try and keep Mario off of you as much as possible, because when he's on top is when it's very scary. Okay. Pretty good, pretty good. you get a little too reliant on those smash attacks when we're up close. They can definitely work, but you know, sometimes just doing something like just getting away, or maybe doing a neutral air out of shield, something a little bit faster can help. If I'm facing you, something like a down tilt if you haven't shielded yet. So you were doing pretty good there, keeping me out, using a lot of side Bs. And that's one of those things where, as that game kept going on, you know, you would get him, but then I would slowly adjust to him. It's like, all right, I've caught your rhythm of side Bs. And there I ended up parrying your down tilt because I knew that you were going to swing. I didn't know exactly with what. I assumed it would either be like a parry or a down tilt or a side B or something. But I knew that he's going to swing here, I'm going to parry it, and I'm going to kill him for it. And that was my like reigning thought process as the game went on. I was like, okay, I just need to slowly adjust to what he's doing because you're hitting me with a lot of these like non-committal or these non-punishing moves in a lot of cases. Not to say you didn't land your smash attacks somewhat, but as that game goes on, you got to kind of be aware of the opponent catching on and be ready to mix it up on the fly. Like, unless you have some crazy dominant always working thing, you know, you want to be ready to mix it up if you feel like they're slowly cracking the codes, and that's going to let you keep an edge on them to where you're going to be like one step ahead at all times.
Right.
It's always super annoying to tech on Wi-Fi when you're like right up close to it.
Yeah.
No, I didn't turn around. When you're on the ledge like that, doing like a drop down rising nair can be pretty good if you want to try, because you can kind of keep it ambiguous on what side you'll cross them up on, and oftentimes even shield poke. The fair can work, but it's so scary if they're just sitting there holding shield, because they're just going to punish you with like an up smash or an up B a lot of the time. Oh, I went too far in with my FD. But that was much better.
Mm.
You were catching me a lot if I was doing something like a fireball or anything crazy like that. Yeah, I feel like you're handling the vertical or the horizontal disadvantage not too bad. Like just mixing up those ledge options has been really positive for you. And in person, it's gonna be harder because you know sometimes they'll be really focused and they'll kind of react to what you're doing at times and things like that. But that's where it comes down to you being kind of the step ahead and mixing up your timings. Like maybe you'll sit on the ledge just a little bit longer before you roll, before you get up attack or something like that. That's gonna come with time. It does. I do notice that you seem to whistle a lot out of like tumble. Like you'll get hit and then you'll almost always whistle.
Yeah.
And you definitely don't want to get into a habit of just doing that all the time. Like it can work, especially if you think they're gonna go for something immediately after. But you know they catch on to it, they're just gonna get free punches every time because you could attack out of there, you could just drift back, you could air dodge, you could up B. There's a lot of like mix-ups you could do that's gonna help you out there instead of just whistling. Oh, that's bad, yeah. I'm just gonna keep doing it. And that's on, you know, that puts the burden on the Olimar to really like fight off that, I guess, response to feel like you have to go for this good attack. Like you could have just probably down tilted, you could have jabbed, you could have grabbed. Yeah, they're not gonna kill me, but they're gonna do a better job of getting you off. Heck, you could have even shielded one of those and forward aired me out of shield, right? But like that smash attack's really risky. As for like the other disadvantage parts where I was kind of knocking off stage a lot, like it's definitely tough with Mario, but you have a lot of leeway. Sometimes you can go really low and then go high. Sometimes you can go into the stage if you have enough fuel with your up B. You know, sometimes you can go a little bit higher and then just try and outmaneuver me. Because when you have like no Pikmin and you're up B, you're going to be faster than most every character in terms of airspeed because you fly really quickly. So don't be afraid to kind of mix it up there. You gotta watch those whistles. Yeah, that'll kill you at those percents. But yeah, just, you know, keep watching and fighting the urge to be using those smash attacks. One sec. Just keep fighting that urge, and doing it, because those reflectors are gonna mess you up bad. And even there's a couple times where I'm messing it up, and it might be, you know, because you catch me right, or I'm a little too slow, or something like that. But you want to be in control, and when you're doing those things, you're not as in control as you could be, right? Because you're letting yourself kind of just pick the natural response.
All right.
So I'll do like one more with Mario, and then I'm gonna switch up another character and just kind of keep it going, and just see if I like keep making you be ready to kind of adjust your gameplay on the fly, so that's not as straightforward. Nice. Okay, just killed myself there. Remember, if you have like something like a blue in front of your line, you can definitely go for the grab, because you have to grab the blue to get the kill. But you need to be like ready to mix it up or keep it ambiguous. If you're just dash grabbing in every time you have a blue or something, it's going to be really easy for me to see and then, you know, avoid it and then potentially punish you because of how committal your grab is. especially that dash grab. You tend to dash grab a lot, and while it can help, it's super committal because of how much lag it has, especially with those 3 Pikmin. So you need to be more wary of that, and then if you're going for these dash grabs, it's kind of got to be a certainty thing. Ah, I got a little too greedy with my approach. Alright, I'll try swapping up characters.
Alright.
I'll go another character that I know a lot of Olimars tend to struggle with, that being Lucina, just to get a feel for how you handle that. And really what it comes down a lot of the time is these characters, they have these safe buttons, right? Like, they're going to pressure your shield, but their pressure does kind of peter out after enough time, right? Like, Lucina's going to up air you, sure, and then she might down tilt you, or she do something, but then after that down tilt, that's where your opening for something goes. And you might not always get a direct punish, but then it creates a scenario where, you know, it's kind of a 50-50. It's like, are they going to shield, or are they going to go for another attack? Well, if Lucina down tilts me and I'm up close, and she goes for another down tilt, I can forward air that. That's safe enough for me to be able to forward air. But if she shields at you, then yeah, I'll get hit. So it's kind of on you to get a feel for their rhythm and see how you can punish them accordingly.
Yeah.
Oh, the air dodge on accident. Remember what I said about watching those blue grabs? You don't want to always do it when it's right there. It might not be nearly as safe or beneficial. Oop, a little slow up on the platform. Her down air is really good about catching you because it sweeps so wide and it's disjointed as well, so it'll just beat a lot of your grounded options, so you have to be careful about that.
Alright.
Not too bad though, honestly. Just you know, when you notice that someone's caught on to the rhythm of your Pikmin, like what you're doing when you're side being with the purple, when you're grabbing with the blue, you have to find ways to get innovative with it, and that comes down to a lot of like delaying it, right? So let me give you an example, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you're fighting someone and they're really good about paying attention to your blues, and they've been dodging a lot of grabs. Okay, well, let's say your lineup is like purple, blue, red. Okay, so what do? You can run at them and you purple side B, force them to shield blue grab, right? That's a way to mix it up. But if you like purple side B way in advance, or do something with purple way in advance, and then run at me just with the blue, and you're just running on the ground, I'm gonna dodge it a lot of the time. A lot of those more experienced players are gonna dodge, so you have to be innovative. Or you could run at me with the blue in front, and if I jump, you up air me, you back air me, you forward air me. You know, back air and up air are usually the best. Those can get kills. You're like, oh, you don't want to be on the ground because I have a blue? Let me read your jump. And that's kind of, you need to understand how the opponent responds to your character. Because when you understand what they do, you can have an answer for it. Because you'll already go, oh, I know what you're going to do here. Let me punish. If Olimar knows what the opponent's going to do, he can win every time. The up smash can be a bit tough because if you're either slightly too slow, they can start getting up, but also because it is your slowest smash attack. But also sometimes if a character's model's really low to the ground, it just won't hit them. So like you can definitely up smash people, but you kind of got to know if they can be up smash or else you potentially waste the punish. Up smash is just always a really good option just because it's a raw 30% of its fresh. And then down smash, if you have a lot of stage left, can be really good because you can down smash. They're usually going to DI in because it's a smash attack. It already sends to that low angle. It can hit them into a scenario where they're going to miss another tech if they're not ready for it. So it's like jab lock, or you like purple side B, jab lock, run up, down smash, run up again, jab lock the miss tech, then forward smash, and that's a good like 70% damage. It can take stocks really early.
Yeah.
So, are there any other questions or things that you wanna ask me about?
No, I kind of understood everything you said, so I'll probably think of some like during this game. So
Okay.
I'll let you know if I have any.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Overshot that a little bit. If you see someone charging something like that and you don't want to risk it, it's fine. You know, like, she's not going to hit you if you sit on the ledge there, and she's going to up smash, so you don't need to, like, get super risky about it. I definitely understand wanting to get, like, a punish, because it's like, oh, they're charging this really big attack or something. But, you know, sometimes it's like, no, don't even need to risk it. Oh wow, I'm surprised I connected into both hits, but I think it's because I hit the Pikmin on the first one, so it delayed it long enough. I was like, oh, I know he's going to swing right here with a smash attack. Let me just counter that real quick. And that was like a really good example of what I told you a little bit ago, where it's like, as that game goes on, like I had such a good beat on, like a good read on your rhythm, right? Where it's like, I know you're gonna smash in this scenario. I see your lineup. I see what the situation is. You've been smash attacking. I'm gonna counter you're dead, even though you have a like 100% like lead or something. Like, it doesn't matter because I read you, and I read you with the option that beats your attack, right? Like if you're fighting a character who had like let's say you're fighting someone like Young Link, right? And they don't have that crazy reflect counter button. Yeah, that would have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
But, and hey, I might have even gone in done that same option in a scenario like that too if I was really confident. But that's something you have to keep in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
I think something that would help you a lot in disadvantages is you don't want to be panic, like air dodging, panic rolling. You kind of, it's the theme of, I guess, that I've been telling you. It's like you really need to take the time to evaluate what's happening, so you're not just like instinctively spot dodging, instinctively rolling, or air dodging or whatever it is, because that's just gonna get you killed a lot of the time. Because I can react, right? You move slower than me, so if you do something, I'm gonna get to the ground before you most of the time. So you kind of have to either pre-plan it, like, all right, I think I'm gonna air dodge here, I think I'm gonna whistle here, do this, or really know what you're doing, because you're not giving yourself enough credit in your own ability to outplay your opponent, I guess it feels like. That was a really good jump. It just, I kind of, the way you went and landed, it ended up letting me catch you because you fared. Maybe you could have fallen, saw that I was on the ground, up B'd, let me whiff my attack, and then punished.
Yeah.
Fallen with like a fast fall dare or a fast fall nair or something like that. So there are ways you can get really creative with Olimar, and that's kind of what he does. Like, his disadvantage is bad, but I think you have more flexibility in that struggle than a lot of characters. A lot of characters don't have a move that just lets them fly. Like,
Yeah.
In all 360 degrees, and it doesn't let them. A lot of them can't just cancel with an aerial. So that's essentially like that third jump, that hover, mixed in with a move that generates super armor and an air dodge. So yes, you have a slow movement speed, and if you act the wrong time, you're gonna get hit hard. But those split-second decisions to go, okay, let me up B now, that can, you make it look like you're about to be in a vulnerable spot. Your opponent goes to punish you, go, nope, up B, nope, whistle, nope, neutral air dodge, or something
Yeah.
like that, and then they're punished. Or even if you don't punish, it's, oh, now I'm resetting back to neutral. Now I've got my bearing straight.
Yeah.
Oops, that's a tap jump struggle right there. I did not move my stick enough.
Oh, you play with tap jump?
Yeah, I tap jump.
Um,
So sometimes that happens.
yeah.
You could probably up smash that out of shield if I'm right on top of you like that. That should be it. No. Not heavy enough, it seems. Oh, you got me just there. Definitely pretty good. I liked how you went for what I told you, where you did like the purple side beat into the blue grab.
Yeah.
That's good that you're applying some of that stuff. Do you watch other like high level Olimar play often at all, or?
Yes, I watch Shuton a lot, and you.
Okay.
It's mainly just you and Shuton.
Okay.
I don't really watch the Buzz that much.
That's totally fair. I mean, I think you could always extrapolate different things from different Olimars, even past us three. But even when, let's just say you're watching myself or Shuton, right? Really pay attention to how, the two things I want you to pay attention are how we get our hits, how we're getting our kills, right? Like, what are we doing to make it work? So how are we landing that blue grab? How are we, getting that kill? How am I hitting them when they're in the spot? And also, how we're getting at a disadvantage. So next time you watch us, you really go, okay, Myron just got knocked up by this player. How's he get down? Oh, he doesn't get down. Okay, maybe he messed up. Well, what do I think he could have done? Oh, maybe he could have whistled here, or maybe he was a little too slow, right? You can kind of take a scenario where Shuton or myself win or lose, and then if we win, you go, oh, that worked there, that's really good. And if we lose, you go, huh, I wonder what they could have done there to maybe make it work, right? So you're kind of taking that scenario in your own hands, and you're going, how can I adjust it to make it work? And that's going to help your problem-solving ability with Olimar. All right, I'll go Olimar for the last, 2 matches, and see if I can show you some good stuff.
Alright.
So right there, I went and charged my forward smash. I knew you were gonna spot dodge when I ran at you. Like right there, I just knew that you were probably going to come at me with something and misspace it or go for the wrong attack. And since Olimar's airspeed's so bad, I was like, there's no way he's going to be able to catch me here.
Yeah.
And that comes down to like really kind of exploiting, one, understanding how like my own character works in the Ditto, but also just trying to exploit his weaknesses, right? Like if I know he can't do something, let me put him in a scenario where he's in that spot. Oh, it's supposed to be a down smash. Like when we're playing that game or these Dittos, what do you feel like is really making it difficult for you to keep up, or that's giving me an edge?
Alright, first off, which Pikmin is mine?
Yeah, that's a pretty popular one to catch Olimar players off guard, the Ditto.
Like, I don't know what you're gonna do after you land a combo. Like, I should know my combos, but there's some that you do that I just don't know about yet.
That's fair,
And
that's
I'm
fair.
not sure how to avoid them.
Generally, DIing out can be the most beneficial against Olimar. Just like trying to get away from him because he moves so slowly.
Yeah.
You want to make it harder for him to catch you. There are times where if I down throw you, it normally wouldn't combo to the bear, but if I have a Pikmin on you, you know, that adds that extra hit lag. That can make an additional, that can give me additional time to then combo. The best way I could tell you to like really find that, open up those combos and find them on your own when you're playing Olimar is get really creative. When I play Olimar, I try to take it at like, how far can I push this character when I hit you? How can I make it that when I hit you, I get the most damage at any given moment, right? What can I do? And yeah, sometimes there's reads sprinkled in there. Sometimes I go for something that's not necessarily true, but I make it work. Sometimes it doesn't work. But just understanding everything, like, that's something that comes with time, and Olimar is one of those characters that the more time you invest in him and you're very diligent, you're going to get a lot out of it. But I mean, I've been playing the character for years through multiple games, and I have a very in-depth knowledge of how moves send, how far they go, how fast he is. It's very, like, it's very accessible, and I understand it very well. For someone for like you know the bread and butters, you know that stuff. But when you play, you want to get creative, you want to get experimentative. When you're playing, so when you're in those friendlies, you go, ooh, what can I do here? What if I throw a purple there, and then, you know, that'll extend my combo because I'll knock him down here and then jab lock. So just it takes time, but just whenever you're playing, get creative. Let your mind kind of wander with the character and go, is this possible? You don't want to stick to the bread and butter stuff, because if you're always doing that, then you're never really going to innovate, and that's going to make your gameplay very static.
3, 2, 1, go!
It's like right there, I threw the, I had the blue out, and then I saw you shield, but I had the white, so I was going to be able to catch you. So that's why I could go for that white dash grab and have it work, because it was so far range. Take note of how I'm killing your purples pretty consistently as well. Like when you throw them, I want to try and get them in there out of there as soon as possible. So you want to try and play in a way where if your opponent's killing your purples or trying to, you're either punishing them a good amount of the time, or you're just not letting them kill them. Like, you can't always prevent a purple from dying, but just making it harder on your opponent is important. So there I parried the purple, and I was like, okay, there's enough time for me to get this attack out. And This is very much an Olimar specific thing just because of the way it works. Like, it's going to hit the purple, it's going to extend my up smash, it's going to catch you when you come in. That's one of the things where I doubt you were going to be able to react to it, but it's more of a next time you'll keep it in mind, right? Like, if you were to fight me again, you would go, okay. Or for the next stock or next game, you could go, all right, well, Myron's kind of keen on that. Let me watch out on that. But I think that's a good place to end it. Yeah, I think for you, you just need to get very comfortable and confident in your gameplay. How long have you been playing the character?
Since August.
Okay,
I haven't
that's
been playing
nothing crazy long. So don't, I think you have an idea of how you want to play him. Like you seem to go for a more not runaway game, but you kind of, you're comfortable in like throwing those Pikmin and making your opponent approach and then catching them as they approach. And that's perfectly fine. Just kind of work on developing your gameplay with him more, really understanding the scenarios that you get yourself in, or that you put your opponent in, so you can already know what the outcome is going to be. If you attack them, know where they're probably going to go. If they attack you, know what your available options are. You want to try and have like a really big repertoire of knowledge that you can pull on in most scenarios where you go, I have an answer here. Because if you have an answer, you can figure out, one, how to get there, and if it doesn't work, you can go, why didn't it work? Was I too slow? Did I miss input? Was that just not the answer there? And if that wasn't the answer that you thought it would work, you can then look for something else, right? You have a basis to improve on. For your disadvantage, yeah, just really mix it up on the options we talked about with the whistle, with the up B. If you watch my gameplay, I think you could probably see a lot of my up B usage and how I use it to weave around people. And then whistle and stuff like that as well. Up close, just don't panic when someone's on you. Use your jab, use your down tilt, use your smash attacks if you can, and just think about what you're doing. You need to be very cognitive of it, very aware, so that you can be, you know exactly what you're doing, and you're not just always mashing an attack or defensive option or something like that, and then getting punished because it just didn't work out. Any last minute questions on your part?
This might sound stupid, but I want to learn like how to like think during a game because I'm kind of like on autopilot, like I just do.
No, that's
totally
a pretty common thing actually, and there isn't a trick that just does it, right? It's kind of when you play the game, you have to force yourself to think as much as possible. I always recommend starting out like when you get hit, ask yourself why you got hit. Take a second when you're flying away or whatever to go, why did I get hit there, right? Or, oh, I got hit, I need to adjust accordingly. Use those interactions where your plan doesn't work out, because when you play the game, you have an idea of what you want to do, and if it doesn't work, well, then something's going wrong. So when it goes wrong, ask yourself why, and you're going to have to do it over and over and over again. You're going to have to train yourself. But do it when you're playing online in Elite Smash, do it when you're playing friendlies against the CPU, whatever. Whoever you're playing against, do it. So if something doesn't work, you have an idea of why.
Alright.
And just keep at it. You have to have that very like deliberate effort put into it, but if you do it, it builds over time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll get this VOD sent to you in a day or two. All right.
Alright.
Have a good day, man.
Yeah, you too.